cataclysmic months-long event. In early 1945, Mount Ruapehu began ramping up for one of these eruptions as activity slowly built in March. This caused several lava domes to form on its surface. This is when lava comes up bubbling through vents and forms a large dome. Between the three peaks that form the mountain also sits a large crater filled with water known fittingly as Crater Lake. By July of that year, Crater Lake water levels had fluctuated significantly and at one point drained almost completely of water to its 1,000 feet or over 300-meter depth. At several points, massive steam eruptions also occurred that were visible from 100 kilometers away from the interaction between the water and the hot volcanic material. These eruptions continued for most of the year, and by December, volcanic activity started to wane. Soon after, Crater Lake began to return to its normal level as rain and snowmelt came in, and with some of the drainage points being plugged up with volcanic material. These blockages are what's known as a tephra dam, and tephra is just another word for all the fragments of rock that were ejected by the eruptions. By 1953, Crater Lake was actually sitting 26 feet or 8 meters higher than it was prior to the 1945 eruption, thanks to the buildup of tephra around the rim. Unfortunately, what can happen is that these dams, which form sort of at random, are not completely stable. This instability created a precarious situation that went largely unnoticed. At around 8 p.m. on Christmas Eve 1953 that year, the volcanic material holding back Crater Lake finally gave way. In an instant, 90 million gallons or 340,000 cubic meters of water began rushing into the river below. This river runs down the mountain to the east before taking a 90-degree turn southward, followed by a gradual westward curve that takes it right through the tiny community of Tangaway. Known as a lahar, this torrent of mud, debris, and volcanic material roared down the mountainside until 10:21 p.m. This is when the sound was interrupted by a piercing squeal. 5 hours earlier, at just before 3 o'clock, the train station in Wellington, New Zealand was